if I told you there's a place just 15 minutes outside downtown Denver that's going to give you all the historic charm and uniqueness of Denver, and you could save $50,000?
Listening. Go on.
Well, today we're going to explore that very thing in the town of Wheat Ridge, Colorado. Guys, welcome to Everything Denver, Colorado, where we explore all things Denver real estate. And if you are thinking of a move here, make sure you hit me up, call, text, or email. I love helping people when they're thinking of relocating here to the Colorado area, Denver Metro, all the amazing suburbs around Denver. So make sure when you are thinking of your move, you think of me and you hit me up. Okay, guys, so Wheat Ridge, Colorado. This is just on the northwest side of Denver, just kind of almost bordering the Denver border. We have towns like Arvada to the north and Lakewood to the south. Edgewater is technically one of the bordering cities before you actually get to Denver, but Wheat Ridge is really only 15 minutes from the downtown area, and you're only 10 or 12 from some of the historic neighborhoods on that west end of Denver, like Sloan's Lake and the Highlands, which are very trendy, very exclusive, and they come with a really high price point. So one of the draws for people that like to live in Wheat Ridge is the more affordable price, while not giving up some of the historic charm in the neighborhoods of Denver. So median home price in Wheat Ridge right now is going to be about $540,000 compared to the $600,000 price point in the Denver area. It is quite a bit of a cost savings here. Now, Wheat Ridge is a smaller suburb on the west end of Denver. Only about 30,000 people live in this small suburb. Like I said, it is bordered by a couple other large ones, Arvada to the north, Lakewood to the south. But a reason a lot of people have chosen to live in Wheat Ridge is one, its close location and proximity to Denver, the more affordable price point, but you're also very close to the mountains as well. So you do have quicker access into the town of like Golden or the foothills. So if you want to do some like whitewater rafting in the summer, or if you want to get out and explore more, even your winter sports, I-70 just kind of runs on the northern border of Wheat Ridge. So you have quick access on I-70, head up into the high country for all your skiing, snowboarding, and mountain adventures. So what are some of the cons of living in Wheat Ridge? Well, for one, the school system is a little bit lower rated than some of the others. So you're getting more of a B rating on some of the schools versus some of the other suburbs that have an A or an A plus rating that are around the metro area and just south of here. Con number two to living in Wheat Ridge is since it is a little bit older, the neighborhoods can feel a little bit more run down in some cases. Not a lot of them have HOAs. That can be a plus or a minus for a lot of people. But it does come with some properties just not having the same upkeep as others. Coincidentally, the home that I am shooting this in right now is going on the market as we speak. So I came here to do some prep for the listing. And if you guys are wondering what it's like to live in Wheat Ridge, I'd like to show you one of the houses before we even show you some of the outside neighborhood and the surrounding area of Wheat Ridge. So I mentioned some of the historic charm that's kind of surrounding Wheat Ridge, and while you don't have some of the same exact feel of the neighborhoods, you do have a lot of unique kind of details in some of the homes. Let's see if we can show it up here. So I'm not sure if you can see this, but it kind of has a modified type of crown molding, rounded ceilings on some of these older homes in the Wheat Ridge area, and that's a characteristic or a thing in a lot of the historic Denver neighborhoods. It's very common to see. So again, with the original hardwood floors in this home as well, makes for more of a traditional feel with still having some of the nice upgrades, newer kitchen, updated quartz countertops, and modern cabinetry and appliances. Another pro of living in Wheat Ridge is there's a lot of great views of the Rocky Mountains from a lot of different parts of town. I was putting up the drone. You got clear views of the downtown skyline since it's a very clear day, and it was really beautiful to see that. But just on the other side of that, you have obviously the Rocky Mountains and the vast majesty of that. So if you're lucky enough to get one of the prime location spots where your home does have a view, Wheat Ridge has a lot of spots where there is nice, big, beautiful mountain views. So something else that's unique to the neighborhoods of Wheat Ridge is you are in general going to have larger lot sizes. So you're going to have pretty big front yards, very large backyards. Most of the lots are sitting on anywhere from a fifth of an acre to a quarter of an acre. As this one has, you have a single car garage that's attached to the house. You have another 2-car garage that's detached from the house right back there. And as you can see on these streets, you're going to have a lot of mature landscaping, large lots, a lot of room and place to let the dogs run around, let the kids run around, and just a nice homey but neighborhood feel. Now, while the neighborhoods are very quiet, you do have to be particular about where you're located in the neighborhood. With I-70 just back here, bordering kind of the north end of Wheat Ridge, it can get a little bit noisy in some parts of town, as well as you do have a couple main thoroughfares that run through Wheat Ridge, like Wadsworth and Sheridan. So it can be a little bit noisy at times. So you just got to know where to look for your home in the neighborhood. Luckily, where we're at on this one, nice, quiet, serene, peaceful neighborhood. So one thing you'll notice as we cruise through some of these more historic neighborhoods, you'll find a mix of, folks that have lived there probably 50, 60 years that have really been taking a lot of pride in their homes and have really taken care of them. And then, on the same street, you might find something that's just gotten away from somebody. Maybe it was left as an inheritance to a family member and they really didn't want to have to deal with it. So it's kind of overgrown and things. So, you're probably not going to find any of the huge showstopper neighborhoods within the town of Wheat Ridge. It's a little bit small for that compared to some of the other ones around like Arvada and Lakewood and Centennial and Littleton. But if you're like, I kind of like Wheat Ridge, but I'm not really sure where it's located, if it's the right fit for me. Some other cities that I would recommend checking out would be like North Glen. That one's going to be, closer to I-25, real quick commute access into downtown Denver with a similar price point, similar style of homes. And that south side of Thornton on the north end are going to be kind of comparable to this area. But if you're looking for something that's on the west side, a little bit newer, a little bit, more bells and whistles, a little more upkeep on the neighborhoods, a little bit newer construction. A town like Arvada and Broomfield to the north are going to be perfect options for you in that regard. A couple couple more things you should know about before making the move to Wheat Ridge. So it is, like I said, a bit of a smaller suburb, but you do have quite a few parks within the city of Wheat Ridge. It is its own municipality, which has its own, police department and city services. So sometimes property taxes are going to be a little bit higher in those areas versus an unincorporated city or unincorporated area of the county, like Jefferson County. I mentioned that the schools are kind of okay, not terrible, but they're not the most highly rated in this area. And some parts of Wheat Ridge can feel a little bit industrial. There are some parts that probably could use some revamping and some revitalization, but this is in an area that's kind of surrounded by a lot of growth, so that's a good thing for the town of Wheat Ridge. You might be able to get something in a good area that maybe undervalued at the time that you purchase it, and 5 and 10 years down the line, as developers come in and start redoing some of the housing developments and scraping some of the old decaying homes away and rebuilding some newer ones, your property values can increase from that. But if you move in right now, you may have to deal with a little bit of industrial feel in some parts of the city, maybe neighborhoods that aren't quite up to the standards of what you're finding in other towns like Arvada and Broomfield, where there's more newer development and more HOA control that's kind of maintaining some of these neighborhoods by and large. So that is one of the reasons that home prices are a little bit less in the Wheat Ridge area compared to, having the name of Denver and a neighborhood like Sloan's Lake or the Highlands, or being in some of the newer communities of, say, Arvada or Lakewood. Now, there's, some local shopping to do in the town of Wheat Ridge, but mostly by and large, you're probably going to be going to places like Lakewood or Arvada or into Denver. Denver's going to have a lot of more of your local places, small mom and pop, trendy restaurants, trendy cafes, $12 coffees, $18 salads, things like that, versus you're a little bit more in the suburbs in Wheat Ridge and areas like Lakewood and Arvada to the north. They're going to have much more of a suburban feel. Your Walmart, Target, chain restaurants, just Starbucks coffee shops, more of your chain, what you come to expect in a lot of these suburban areas. So is Wheat Ridge a good place to live? Absolutely. You just need to know where to look and which neighborhoods and which parts of it to select when you're thinking of your move here. So that's why you got to hit me up, call, text, or email. I got your back on all things Denver real estate. One more con to living in Wheat Ridge, I would say, is on the west end of Wheat Ridge, kind of on that south as well. You kind of border the town of Edgewater and Lakeside Amusement Park. Not known as being some of the best area. I remember Lakeside going there as a kid, even in the 90s when I was 12 years old, and I was kind of like, man, this place is a little bit sketch. A little sus, as the kids say, sus. And it hasn't gotten a whole lot better, let's just say that. So a little bit run down, could use some redevelopment and things, but you're not in the town of Edgewater or in the place of Lakeside, but they're right outside of Wheat Ridge. So that kind of contributes to this industrial and maybe a little bit of rundown feel when you're visiting Wheat Ridge. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoyed getting to see not only Wheat Ridge, but one of the homes that's coming for sale. If you are thinking of your move here to the Denver metro area, make sure you hit me up, call, text, or email. I would love to help you out. We get so many people asking different questions about different areas, and I would love to be your resource for all things Denver real estate. So until then, don't forget to like and subscribe.